So, where are we now? We're taking a look back at Volume 0. Now, before I go, new readers, spoiler alert, if you have not read Volume 0 or listened to Volume 0, please do so, because I'm going to spoil all of it right now as a summary for the next one. So, needless to say, please go back and listen. You can find it on the website, iTunes, many other platforms. Anyway, onward into our summary of Volume 0. So, Volume 0, we get introduced to two of our main heroes, Cyrus and Val. Cyrus is washed ashore on the west coast of Sunseton, where he encounters this man named Bram, who tells him that his home country, that he claims to be from, this place called Valgardia, is a myth. Obviously, that's a little confusing, so they sort of set off into Sunseton, where Bram was headed anyway, to discover why this has happened. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Edera, Val has kind of been living a peaceful life with his two wolfhounds, Edda and Rowan, who are very smart, and he's just perfectly happy to live in the woods with them. But that life is a little bit shaken on its head when two friends of his, Ori and Goff, ask him to help train a boy named Evan, whose father has died, and traditionally that would be his job. Val agrees, and at the same time, he can there's something wrong. His wolfhounds start acting up. They can sense something out in the woods at one point, and he can tell that something's wrong. But he's like, Anyway, so there are signs of unrest, especially as Cyrus goes into Sunseton with Bram and discovers that there are very old tensions between Edera and these people called the Freelanders, who have sort of these strange magical powers. And there was a war 7 years ago. We learned that the wounds have definitely not healed since then, which lead to Cyrus being chased by the police. He kind of flees and is eventually captured by this other group of this underground society of people who travel through the oceans. And there's a lot of conflict there. Now, Cyrus is kind of getting caught in the middle of this because he is a Valgardian and has bright gold hair, has bright golden eyes, does not look at all like anyone from these places. So all these tensions sort of come to a head as there's a terror attack in both locations. In Sunseton, there's a massive explosion that goes off, and in Min's, where Val and Evan were, they're coming back from hunting, and they find the whole thing gone up in flames, and men just attacking the town. Val makes his way trying to save Ori and Goff, but fails and discovers that these people weren't looking for a strategic advantage. It wasn't a raid. It was just a terror attack. Val sort of taps deep into his past, back when he was known as the Iron Wolf of Edera. We learned that long ago in the war, he was a bit of a legendary figure, and he's kind of been in exile. And he sort of awakens that past version of himself to eliminate this threat, while Cyrus and Bram flee from Sunseton only to get caught. Bram is killed, Cyrus is paralyzed in the kind of ensuing scuffle, and they're only saved through the intervention of this strange magical force, almost a person, that calls itself the Fire of the World's Ending. Not only does it protect Cyrus and exterminate all the cops that were chasing him, it also burns Cyrus alive down to ashes and then rebuilds him, leaving him with some new upgrades and some new senses that he hasn't quite figured out yet by the time the end of the book ends, when he's still on the run from the Ederan cops. Meanwhile, Val, who has found the source of these terror attacks, this man or specter named the Machine King, he sets off, kind of donning the Iron Wolf moniker once more as he returns, on this quest for vengeance. So that's kind of where we were at the end of Volume 0. Val was on a quest to hunt down the Machine King, and Cyrus has just fled into this very magical forest called the Western Expanse, on the run, and with a whole lot going on and mysteries to unravel surrounding the Fire of the World's Ending.